We're very excited to have Chelsea Bain on the show today. Chelsea?
How's it going?
Hey, how are you, girlfriend?
I like that country with a little bit of kick-ass.
You like that?
I like that. I'm gonna start using that.
All right. Well, there you go. You can just say that. Hey, my girl up there in PA gave me that line.
That's awesome.
Well, your music does have a little bit of that kick-ass stuff going on there. But, I mean, you have some nice ballads and stuff. You have, like, a nice gamut, and we're going to touch base on some of those songs. And I know you're very excited about the fact that you just released an EP out there with some of your new music.
I am. We just released it a couple of weeks ago on the iTunes.
Nice.
And it's all new, fresh music that I did with Michael Knox, who's a producer out here in Nashville. He produces Jason Aldean and Montgomery Gentry, to name a few, and kind of was a really exciting thing for me to get to do. I've always wanted to work with him, and so now that it's out and I can share it with everybody, I'm just like,
yay!
A little bit.
Yeah, and those names aren't, I don't know who those guys are. Who are those guys? It's not like you're throwing around some big names.
Yeah, they're definitely guys that I admire, and I like their sound and everything. So, of course, being an artist, when you're looking at producers and people that you want to work with, you look at people they've worked with and things that they've done. And so I feel like I got really lucky that he wanted to work with me. I was like, oh, okay, really?
Nice. Well, let's step back just a little bit, though, Chelsea, and kind of give people a little bit of your history, of your background, kind of where you come from, delve a little bit deeper into that before we jump into all of the great accolades and everything you've already got established. But let's go back to the good old little country girl that hails out of Phoenix. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those days on how you kind of got started? Because I love those stories on, my first time I was 9 and I was scared, So tell us where Chelsea comes from.
Those good old, you find those old photos.
Yeah, the little black and whites, your hair in pigtails.
And the hair in pigtails. Mine was always a ponytail.
Oh, okay.
I refused to do my hair any other way. Growing up in Arizona, I started out as a kid. I was involved in a lot of theater stuff and everything. And actually, I did rodeo. I was a barrel racer from the age of 4 on. Mm-hmm. And my mom wanted me to show horses when I was younger, and I didn't want to because I just wanted to put my hair in a ponytail and wear a purple shirt and call it a day.
Purple!
Like any frills. Purple was as girly as I got.
Yeah.
And so I spent a lot of time when I was younger. I was always going to rodeos and doing things like that. So I grew up in the George Strait loving community, if you will.
Sure,
and, on the way to rodeos, though, you can probably tell from a lot of my music, there's a lot of rock influence in there, too. And it'd go from George Strait to Def Leppard on the radio as we'd be driving. It was quite the mixture. And so I try to infuse that into a lot of my music that I do now. But, I grew up in Arizona, and by the time I was a teenager, I was about 13 and met my horse trainers who live in Texas, and I got involved in horse showing. Eventually, my mom got me into the, frills and rhinestones. she was gonna have that happen eventually. And so I actually spent a lot of time kind of growing up in Texas too. In high school, I was out there all the time. I was homeschooled in high school because we were always on the road, which works out great now because people were like, wow, touring is really difficult. You're on a bus or in a van with, musicians and mostly dudes. And I was like, I grew up in the back of a truck and smelled like a horse. And so you can't scare me.
There you go.
This is glamorous compared to that.
Nice.
And speaking of old photos and like way back when, I actually have a photo. I'll see if I can get it to you so you can put it up on your site and whatnot. But it's a photo of me singing the national anthem at a rodeo in northern Arizona, because that's what, if any way I can incorporate the horses in music, I always tried to, and it would always be them asking me to sing the national anthem at a rodeo or at a horse show. So there's a photo of me wearing this really awesome Americana shirt and really baggy jeans and a terribly shaped cowboy hat at a rodeo, and I had really raggedy blonde hair, and it's just the most terrible photo, but it's awesome all at once.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow.
But
how have things changed.
That's where you came from, though. And it's nice to have pride from where you came from, no matter what the shaky starts were, because that's what turned you into who you are. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like to look back on that stuff because it went from that, riding my dirt bike across, fields of trailers and stuff to get to the arena to sing the anthem, to singing it at horse shows and running down the barn alleys, holding my shafts up as I was trying to run because I had to show my horse right after I sang the anthem.
There you go.
To singing it at NASCAR races where they tote me around in a golf cart and treat me all special and whatnot. And I'm like, wow.
Well,
that's cool.
Yeah, you've made quite the impression on like a variety of sports, and it sounds like you're kind of like a little entrepreneur there. You're doing your own incorporation, branding your name and stuff. Do you have a business background?
I do now, I feel like.
Yeah.
I didn't study business, actually. I didn't go to college. Once I got out of high school, I was ready. I was like, I need to pursue this. I already felt like I was old. And it was one of those things my parents, they didn't want me to pursue the music as a career when I was, in high school and everything because they were like, be a kid, like do other stuff, experience other things. And I was like, okay, I'll take the Forrest Gump path of it all. And so as soon as I got out of high school, I was like, there's not enough time for all of that. And I was just I'm such an impatient person that I was like, please just let me go do this. But I joke around with people because I'm like, after being involved in the business I've been pursuing it professionally for about 6 years now. We've been at it. And I feel like I'm a business person now. I know a lot more about it, and it's amazing just through experience how much you learn and how many times you're put on the spot and have to deal with things you wouldn't expect that you would.
Yeah, I've talked to other artists regarding business, and I think some of them who say if you've not gotten some sort of business background, one of the advantageous things is kind of either learn about business, learn about marketing, learn about what you want, and try not to let the powers that be kind of drag you in places you don't want. Like, you need to be in control of your own as much as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely. I was lucky because my dad is a great businessman, and he kind of, was like, very adamant about, take my advice and, I'll help you along the way and follow what I do. And he's kind of helped me a lot through it all. And it's really all just been, as far as being a good business person, it's holding your ground and, doing your best to get what you want out of it. And, I try as far as business goes to just be good to people because it's too easy to burn bridges in this town.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to pick your battles, you got to know what you want.
You do, yeah.
You got to have pride in yourself.
A little.
Yeah. You got to have pride in yourself and know what you want and understand that there's a give and take. But you also don't want to get run over by a Mack truck either in the process.
No, that wouldn't feel too good.
Yeah.
I've come close a couple of times.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I'm close. I've gotten my foot ran over, and I was like, well, that didn't feel too good. Let's not do that again.
But now you can say you did it. You can take it off your bucket list.
I did. Now I can say, like, no, we tried that. That's not a good idea.
That didn't work so good for you?
Right.
Didn't like it very much?
Nope. There's been a couple times.
Now let's get back to the music just a bit. Now you write a lot of your own music. You also do co-op writing with other people. On this new EP, did you write some of the music on there, Chelsea?
You know what's funny? I didn't write a damn one.
Really? Wow. I
didn't. Working with Michael Knox, I had the coolest opportunity. I actually wrote with several of his artists, but he has a girl that writes for Pure Music, which is the publishing company that he's the head of now here in Nashville. And her name's Rachel Farley, and she's an amazing songwriter. And he played me a few of her songs, which 2 of them are on the EP. And she just, you find writers that you connect with and that can say things the way you want to say them. And she had written 2 songs that I was just like, hell, like, I don't expect to write anything better than this anytime soon. So chose a couple of those, and then there were a few other writers on the 2 other songs that were just, they're so exceptional. And sometimes more than even just writing a song, it's sometimes getting to sing a song that somebody you respect as a writer like getting to sing one of their songs is just as cool. I mean, it's like the fact that they're allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the times when people give me great opportunities in this business, I'm like, why me? Thank you, but why me?
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is the fact that you've already worked hard and gotten yourself some significant recognition. I mean, you definitely got some accolades underneath your belt here, especially, like we were talking about the whole the relationship that you've embraced with people like Bass Pro Shops and the NFL people and sports people, and getting your music license with some of them. I mean, obviously that's going to get you recognition. It's perked up some people from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Grammy Awards winners who have come out and reached out to you and said, hey, you know what, you're making a splash here, girl, and we're interested,
Yeah, and that's the coolest thing. I mean, the people I've gotten to meet and or work with, I mean, a lot of days you wake up, I was talking about this with somebody the other day, I mean, in this business, and especially at the stage that I'm in, a lot of times, and I'm sure even further along, everybody in this business, you wake up and you're frustrated about whatever it is, and you're trying and everything, but at the same time, like, I went to a few events here in Nashville last night, and the people you get to be around, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like, I get to do this, and I get to experience these kind of things, and you have to remind yourself that along the way, it's really the journey and what you get to do, along the way of doing those things. Like, I'm a huge fan of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and I got to work with Stan Lynch, who was the original drummer, and for anybody who's a fan of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, like, for me, the whole first hour of our writing session, I was, like, just tripping out. I had no words. So I basically made a fool of myself.
Aw. Well, and
those are things that, like, I get to be like, man, like, I got to write with one of my pros.
Yeah. But you got to keep yourself grounded. You can't let it go to your head. You can't get too big for your britches is something my mother used to say. It's like, don't get so big for your britches, and just really kind of.
My mom makes sure to do that with me too.
reel yourself in every once in a while with a little reality check. It's like, look, you may be here, but you still got a long way to go, and you got to stay humble and you got to stay grateful.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things. I mean, anybody who's like, oh, I've made it. It's like, what's the definition of that, really? I mean,
yeah.
For me personally, I know I have so many goals that are, more than half of them are probably extremely unrealistic, but I'm the type of person that like to challenge myself. Like, I don't ever want to truly believe I'm there.
Right.
I want to feel like there's always something better I can do.
Yeah, and I mean, there's iconic people out there that if you have anybody that you looked up to or any of your inspirations. I mean, you look at people like Dolly Parton and stuff. I mean, that woman, she doesn't have to work another day in her life, and yet she's so involved with so many different things and still does this and still does that. I think that is the sign of a true artist, where you don't just one day say, okay.
Like, she loves it. Like, she's about the music. And, I mean, because there's so many situations where it's like, people can be, not believable, but it's like, that's a person, like, she's always been in it for the music. She truly loves it, and she loves what she gets to do.
Right.
And so, that's the coolest thing ever, and it's cool for someone like me that's younger, and, like, Dolly Parton's still relevant.
Right,
right. That's amazing.
And she will continue to be relevant for many years to come, no doubt.
Oh, forever.
Yeah. Well, Chelsea...
I apologize. That's my dog barking in the background of us talking.
That's okay. So speaking of music, on your new EP, why don't you tell us about one of the songs that are on here, and let's give our listening audience a little taste of this this country kick-ass girl, Chelsea Bain. Which one would you like us to feature first here?
Let's see. Let's start with one of the ones I was talking about with the girl Rachel Farley. There's a song called "Where We're Gonna Fall."
Okay.
And I really like it because it's one of those, like, just kind of haven't kissed somebody yet, and you kind of have that, the butterfly feeling and everything. And for me, it's kind of ironic because I would be thinking that, but at the same time, like, I'd be sitting there like, hello. But it's a cool way of saying it, and I just really like the song. It's a really fun one to sing, and I was really glad I got to track it.
We're talking with Chelsea Bain right here on Penn's Peak Radio, and she's got a brand new EP out, one of her songs, Where We're Gonna Fall, and it's got a lot of good stuff on it, and you can find out more information if you go to her website, and I'm sure you'll be able to get the detailed information about finding out about where you can get your hands on the music for Chelsea Bain on the website. Am I right?
That's right.
But I like that song. I really like it. Where We're Gonna
you.
Fall. Yeah, it's a good one.
That's like the sweet side of me. That's what that's all you're gonna get.
No, I know there's more in there.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Awesome. So speaking of that, first off, let me ask you this: how do people get a hold of your music now that you've got that EP out there? How can they find it?
The EP is on iTunes currently, and you can go on there and get it. And of course, if you happen to be going to a race, we actually have physical copies, but only at the races, only at shows. We'll have copies there. But it's on iTunes, and that's about it right now. It's kind of exclusively there.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm an iTunes fan. I'm an advocate.
You've got a big thing going on with the NASCAR, all the races. You're going to continue performing at the rest of the races throughout the year?
Not every one of them, but we will be playing. We actually only have a few more. It's kind of bittersweet. It's coming to an end. We play Charlotte next week, and then we play Texas. And I will actually, I'm going to get some time in Texas, because we'll play the race in Texas on Halloween weekend, and then the next week I will be getting to show my horse at the World Championships for the first time in 2 years. So I'm going to be kind of transferring back to riding my horse again for a week.
Oh, so that's cool. You still kind of dabble in that a little bit and go back to your roots. That's nice.
Yeah, for about 2 years it was really difficult because I was so busy, and we were doing races every single weekend, and I was on the road just, the whole year. And this year I've been spending more time writing and recording and whatnot, so I've had a little more time to fly out and ride and show a little bit.
Well, that'll be fun. That'll be good to kind of get back to that. And so how do you keep it up, though? I mean, how do you keep the sustainability of going like that all the time? I want to say I would think that it does get a little old, but is there a way that you sustain the energy to keep going and continue to struggle through this journey of yours?
Well, I have a lot of family that travels with me, which is cool. I always have some sort of family member with me, and I have a really close family, so that helps. And then I'm a people person, and my band, having them around with me when we're out traveling, and just getting that camaraderie between them, and we laugh a lot, and that really helps. I mean, as long as I'm laughing and carrying on in between everything, then I'm usually pretty good, because once you come off stage, the quiet time is what's the annoying part. And so as long as it's kind of one of those things, like if you're having a busy day and you stop and sit down, you get tired all of a sudden. But if you keep going, you don't get tired.
Right.
That's how it is. It's like, don't be lazy. Like, go work out and, go do things and explore. I mean, I get to travel everywhere. And so I try to make a point to go take in wherever it is, even if it's the smallest town in America.
Right.
There's wow, a lot of people don't get to see these things, and I do. So I like to go and venture out whenever I'm in a different place.
That's cool. Why don't we go ahead and touch base on another one of your songs, Chelsea? Why don't you tell us a little bit about another one you've got on the new EP?
Sure. I'll give you a little bit of an on-air one.
Okay.
The next one that we'll do is Your Shot of Whiskey, and I loved this song instantly when I heard it, because I was like, this song basically describes me. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I'll let you guys take it as you hear it, but I think the song fits me to a T. It's called Your Shot of Whiskey.
She says it describes her to a T. Nice job. That is a good one.
Thank you.
Now we know.
Now you know. I was like, when I heard that song, I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I would talk to somebody about that sort of situation.
There you go. Nice job. And I mean, and it's powerful. It's definitely out there, and I can see how that would be an image maker. You know what I mean? Yeah, good job there. Nice job. So anyway, speaking of getting in touch with you and finding out more about what's going on, are you a social butterfly? Some artists, yay. Some artists, not so much. Are you?
I am very much a social butterfly.
Nice.
I am a people person, very much so, yeah.
Cool. So they can find you?
I mean, on my Facebook fan page, on Twitter, on Instagram, maybe I'm a social butterfly or a control freak. I don't let anybody else really handle those things because a lot of people, I go on other people's sites and it's either somebody very openly being like, hey, so-and-so is doing this, or it's somebody pretending they're that person. And I am a believer that, honesty is the best way to go about things. And it's so cool these days that you can, talk to your fans through all of that, and they can give you their opinion. You can figure out what they like and actually have a conversation with them. So I'm actually the person that handles everything as far as social media goes. I'm the one that posts and replies on everything there. So if you go to my Facebook fan page or Instagram or Twitter, it's me replying, and, sometimes it takes a few days. So don't get mad at me if I'm not responding right away, but I will respond.
Nice. Well,
I try to take time, whenever I can to sit down and try to respond to as many people as I can.
Well, that's awesome that you manage that yourself. And, and I know sometimes it does get crazy busy and stuff, but to be able to keep that connection with your fans in today's society, I think is really, really, really important. It's really important.
Yeah, and the thing is we have that opportunity now. There was a time when you couldn't do that.
Right.
And now it's just so cool that we can. And I'm just like, why? Because for people who don't take advantage of that, it baffles me.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you take in, your fans, those are the people, they're the people that are listening to my music, so, they can tell me what they like and what they don't like, and the fact that you can, have the opportunity to give them what they want to hear is great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's awesome, and I think that's really, really important, and, even some of the older artists are kind of, they're really getting into it. I've spoken to artists
They're venturing in that way, aren't they?
Well, and some of them are, nuts. They're crazy about it. They love it. They're like, man, we wish we would have had this 20 years ago. It's definitely easier to find out what your fans like or dislike, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. Constructive criticism, or hey.
If you're playing somewhere, you just post on there. People are on their Facebook every single day.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm not that good with the Twitter and some of the other ones, but yeah, you saw we do the Facebook, and I threw something out there, and thank goodness that I did. I try to get it's a way of getting information and educating, and information is the key to knowing what's going on in the world. So, there you go.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. All right, well, let's hit one more tune here, Chelsea. I know you're probably crazy busy, and I don't want to tie you up. Speaking of all that, but
oh, you're good. You guys are awesome. I enjoy talking to you, so it's really fun.
Cool. Well, let's get one more great tune out there for our listening audience. Another little taste of Chelsea Bain, and when we come back, we'll go over one more time about how everybody can kind of find you, track you down, get a hold of your music, and all that kind of stuff. But what's one more tune off that EP that you'd like to cover?
This is one of my favorites. This is for everybody who's been through a breakup. It's the breakup song.
Oh, yeah? What's it called?
Oh, yeah. Never Ever Gone.
All right. This is another one. And is this a heartstrings tugger?
This is a Damn You.
Oh. Oh, heavens. I was thinking...
It's the angsty song. It's the angsty song.
I was thinking subtle, silly me.
I'm rarely subtle. Sometimes they make me try, and I'm like, The Damn You song.
Yeah. No, get out of my mind already. Just go away.
Yeah. When I heard that song, I was like, yeah, that's exactly how you feel. I wasn't the person that got somebody's name tattooed on me, but
hey, but you know what happens.
I was
definitely
like, that's
happens.
clever. Yeah. And it does. Love makes you crazy. It does. Love is for crazy people.
Then we all must be a little crazy.
Oh, I'm a believer that we're all just nuts.
Absolutely. So you've released your new EP. You're going to be finishing out the NASCAR series. Can you give us a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge of what's next for Chelsea Bain? Can you? I know that's always taboo to ask that question, but I'm a rule breaker, so I'm going to ask.
I'm a rule breaker.
I'm a rule breaker.
Well, over the holidays, as you know, everything gets so slow here, and it drives me crazy. And so I'm going to be writing and working on new music over the holidays, the next couple months. And I actually just this year signed with William Morris Booking Agency. So we're going to be working on figuring out some different places to go play next year and stuff aside from NASCAR, which I'm sure I'll still be doing some of that. But, you know, getting to some different places where I haven't gotten to go to and see some fans elsewhere other than the NASCAR races.
Well, listen.
And that's my thing. I'm all about touring, so I just want to get as many places as I can.
Well, we have a NASCAR track in our backyard, okay? Basically, the Pocono International Raceway is literally like a half an hour, 40 minutes from here. So let me just throw that out there. And if you are doing touring and you happen to be hitting the state of Pennsylvania on the east side, hey, the doors are always open. I always make sure I make a point of telling all my artists that come on the show, you're always welcome to swing by the station in the studios, and we'd love to have you in person, for real, give you a big hug, and have you hang out here.
I can honestly say that when we pass through there, we will stop by.
That would be awesome. And
I'll bring my guitar players with me. We'll do a little acoustic jam for you.
That would be awesome. And it's always open. So, you know, stay in touch, keep my info, you know, whatever you need. And also that goes for, you know, say a few months down the line, for sure. You know, maybe you have some new news that you'd like to help get the word out. Feel free to get in touch with us here. And we'd also love to have you back on the show, even if it is via phone. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to.
It goes either way. So just keep us in the Rolodex, so to speak.
I will for sure. I'm gonna save your number.
Yeah.
That way I have it just on speed dial.
There you go. And I think I did send my cell phone number. So if you don't,
perfect. We can text.
Yeah, we can. And so we'll chat about that when we get off air.
Yeah.
So awesome. So Chelsea, you got some things in the works. You're going to be, you know, stay on that bandwagon, keep your sincerity, remember the fans, and, you know, they're the ones that make it happen for you. So it's always nice to hear that people are definitely into the Facebook scene and the social media scene, and, you know, keep those guys in your heart, because there's what's important, you know? So how can they all...
They make it all go round.
Right.
They do.
Absolutely, and I hope you never forget that. How can they find out what's going on with Chelsea Bain, even in the downtimes? What's the best way? I know we talked about it, but mention it again. Let's go over your website and all that stuff.
Yes, you can find my website is www.chelseabainmusic.com. And I mean, frequently every day almost, I'm posting something about what's going on, or even if it's just what I'm doing on a random, you know, Sunday on my Facebook page, which is Chelsea Bain Music, and then also Instagram and Twitter are just Chelsea Bain, and I'm always posting and trying to keep everybody updated through those things as best as I can.
You can track all that stuff through your website, too, so even if all they do is get the website, they can find you on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, there's links and everything.
Nice. Well, sweetheart, it's been an honor and a pleasure to speak to you today here on the show. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and hanging out with me on the show here at Penn's Peak Radio.
Not a problem. You are great.
Well, my dear, as I said, the doors are always open here, and we will make sure that you have my cell and information. And if you ever do get up to either the Pocono International Raceway, with the Sprint Cup Series does come here twice a year, and all that other kind of good stuff, please.
That's right.
The door is always open for you, and we appreciate you swinging by. Good luck with everything. We wish you the best.
Aw, thank you so much.